welcome to my channel. And today we're gonna do our April TBR. I'm so excited. I've never done a TBR and I'm excited to do one. TBRs are a little nerve-wracking for me because I'm such a mood reader and I'm such someone who wants to read in the mood that I didn't know if I could do this, because I'm not gonna stick to just these 8 books that I was nervous that I would be feeling confined. But I decided to do this in a way where I could pick books that if I got in a slump, or if I finished a series, or if I finished something, that I could pick these, use these as 8 books to pick up something to help me continue reading this month. So I picked 4 categories of places that I read from to help me pick for my TBR. So 2 books from Kindle and my list on Kindle, 2 books from my TBR list on Goodreads, 2 lists from my physical TBR here on my shelf, and 2 books from my list that one of my reading friends said I had to read. So I have 4 physical books here, and then on my Kindle here, I'm gonna read and share, well, it's actually my iPad, but I'm going to share the books that I'm reading, and 4 will be from here. So there's 8 books in total, and so we're going to get right into it. So I figured I would start with my Kindle and share with you the books that are on my Kindle that I'll be reading from Kindle, my Kindle list. The first one is a Lily Gold book. I read a Lily Gold book this month, and I absolutely loved it. Lily Gold writes reverse harem books, and they are so much fun. If you don't know what a reverse harem is, it's basically a multiple guys, one girl book. And they're not for everybody, but she writes these fluffy ones where they're fluffy and fun and spicy, but not too spicy. And I read one of her books this month. If you watch my wrap-up video, which should be the video after this, you'll see which one I read and how much I liked it. So I picked one of her books to read because if I'm in a fluffy, spicy mood, I'm definitely going to want to read one of her books. And so I picked Triple Duty Bodyguard to put on my list for this month. And here's what the description says. It says, as one of the world's most hated celebrities, I'm used to unwanted attention. But when I wake up one morning to find a mysterious man has broken into my house, I know I need security. Enter the angels. Glenn, the Scottish sweetheart, Kent, the long-haired soldier, and Matt, the blue-eyed, bad-tempered leader. Having 3 gorgeous men guarding me 24/7 sounds like a dream come true, but it turns out to be a nightmare. They're always here, watching me, caring for me, protecting me. They tell me that to ignore them and go about my business as normal, but I can't even stop thinking about them when they're so close. The spark is so intense. On top of that, we don't get on. They think that I'm demanding and I'm a diva. They think I'm overdramatic. And when a trip to America sends the guys into protective overdrive instincts, the sizzling tension between us finally breaks. And I learned that my bodyguards have a big secret. They want me. All 3 of them. Meanwhile, my stalker's behavior is becoming more and more alarming. He's photographing me through windows and following me into the shadows. With the premiere of my next movie coming up, all 3 of my bodyguards must be there to keep me safe from the clutches of my stalker, or my terrifying pursuer will finally come in a deadly way. I loved Lily Gold's last book, so I'm super excited to read this one and put it on my TBR. The next one that was on my list from Kindle was, I've been in kind of a mafia era on and off this year, reading mafia books and kind of just seeing what I've read multiple mafia books this year, and so I went and looked up a mafia book, because what girl doesn't like a good mafia book? And if I'm going for my mafia era, as we all seem to be, we all have our own eras, I thought I would go with Sweet Oblivion. I've heard great things about it from multiple people. It has great reviews. I'm trying to pull up the description of it so I can read it to you. I'll put the Sweet Oblivion. Here it is. I've heard great things about this book from other people on Book Talk and on all these things. People really liked this book. So I picked this book. It's a multiple series mafia book, and so I'm intrigued to see how I like it. This will be the third mafia series that I've read this year. Hold on, it's not pulling up. There it goes. It'll be the third mafia series that I've read this year, so let's see how it goes. It says this: nicknamed the Sweet Albania for her docile nature, Elena smiles on cue and has charming responses for everything. She's the favored daughter of the perfect mafia princessa, or was. Now all she can see in the mirror is the reflection of, in her reflection is the blood staining her hands like a crimson paint. They saw the first impressions, and they are everything to everyone. In the murky waters of New York underworld, Elena's sister is arranged to be married to Nicholas Russo, a made man, a cheat, and every measure against the mafia standards, his reputation stretches far and wide and is darker and blacker than the suits and ties. After his and Elena's first encounter, with an accidental glare on her part, she realized that he's just rude as he is handsome. She doesn't like the man or anything he stands for. Though that doesn't stop her heart from pattering like the rain on glass when she's near, or the shiver of the ghost that goes down her spine at the sound of his voice. He always seems to be near and always telling her what to do, making her feel hotter than any future brother-in-law should. Elena may be the sweet Albania on the outside, but she's beginning to learn that she has the taste for the darkness, the rough hands and the cigarettes and those sweet whiskey eyes. I don't know. That sounds like so good. So my mafia era, here I come with Sweet Oblivion. So then that was my Kindle picks. The Goodreads picks that I have. Let's go over to Goodreads while we have it up right here. Switching apps. I just finished the Magnolia Park series and loved it. A video will be coming soon about how much I loved it, what you need to know, all things Magnolia Parks. That's coming very soon. But when I asked someone about, okay, I loved Magnolia Parks, what should I read now? They said I need to read Binding and Saving 13 by Chloe Walsh. And I said, okay. And so I put those on my Goodreads app. And so I'm going to put those on my TBR for this month from Goodreads. And it says this: an epic and unforgettable love story begins in Binding 13, the first and international best-selling TikTok phenomenon of the Boys of Tommen series from Chloe Walsh. He wants to serve her, she wants to hide. She's damaged, he's determined. Fate brought them together, love binds them. That's what it says. And everybody loves them. And there's 2 books, Binding and Saving 13. So those are going to be my 2 from Goodreads. My hair. Sorry, my hair is like falling out. Oh my gosh, do you guys see that? It's like falling out. Anyways, so those are my 2 from Kindle are Sweet Oblivion and Triple Duty Bodyguard. And then my 2 from Goodreads are Binding and Saving 13. Then for the in-person books, the ones that are from my shelf, my actual like physical TBR, I went kind of with a lighter one to start. I did When in Rome by Sarah Adams. This one's been on my physical TBR. It was part of that big haul I got at Christmas with my advent calendar. And I've heard great things about this one. It says here, when Noah Walker finds Amelia on the front lawn and her car broken down, he makes it clear that he doesn't have time or patience for celebrity problems. He's too busy running his pie shop that his grandmother left him and reminding his nosy but lovable neighbors to mind their own dang business. Despite his better judgment, he lets her stay in his guest room, but only until her car is fixed. Then she's on her own. But Noah starts to see a different side of the Ray Roses. She sees the real Amelia as kind-hearted and goofy, yet lonely from years and years of being in the public eye. He can't help but get close to her. Soon she'll have to return to her glamorous life on tour. But until then, Noah will show Amelia all the charming small-town experiences she's been missing, and she'll help him open his heart to more. Amelia can't resist falling for the cozy town and her grumpy tour guide, but even Audrey had to leave Rome eventually. And so when in Rome. And then I've been reading the Dark Olympus series a little bit at a time for, I don't know, the last 6 months or so. And so I have the next book in the Dark Olympus series, which is Radiant Sin, and it follows Apollo and Cassandra. And it says, Apollo may be the city's official spy master, but his ability to inspire others and keeps him in the top. Despite the rest of Olympus saying that no one trusts him, despite what the rest of Olympus says, there's no one he trusts more than Cassandra. Yet even at their fake relationship takes a wicked turn into the sultry and hot, the real danger surfaces, threatening not only Cassandra and Apollo, but the very heart of Olympus itself. I have a few more books to go in this series, I think 3 more after this. So my goal is to finish this series before my birthday in June. I'm getting close to that. I'm just going to read it one book at a time. And then my last area for my TBR was recommended to me by friends and my Texas mama and one of my dearest friends. Her name's Mary. She said I had to read the Court of Thorns and Roses series. I started reading the original Court of Thorns and Roses book about a year ago. About a year ago. And I had a hard time. I got 200 or so pages in, maybe a little more than that. And I just struggled. I don't know why. I couldn't get through it. And so I put it down. And then I just never came back to it. And so she said, no, you have to read it. So I have A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is book 1 and 2, I think. I'm pretty sure that's book 1 and 2. And I promised her that I would read them, so they are here. I'm going to give it a good try again. Everybody tells me that the first book is you have to work your way through the first book, but then when you get to the second book, it really when it really takes off. So I'm going to become A Court of Thorns and Roses fan. Like I said, I started this but struggled, so we'll see how it goes. So that's my TBR for April. I'm super excited to read. I read about 8 to 12 books a month. So when I'm reading these books, like I said, I'm such a mood reader. So the point of this TBR is not that I'm going to read all of these 8 books. That's not the point. The point is that when the mood strikes, I have different areas to go. So I don't know if you saw, I picked some rom-coms, I picked some darker romances, I picked some fantasy. There's a whole range of books that I picked that will help when the mood strikes, give me somewhere to kind of navigate to that I know that I can pick. And at the end of the month, we'll kind of go over and see which ones I actually read. So till next time, friends, bye.